Hey everyone, so I'm still working on the sort of code auto wrapping, whatever you want to call it, the code smart wrapping. And I wanted to show you the progress. Right now it only really knows how to do indentation stuff, and it's not even that isn't completely as smart as it could be. But it doesn't really know how to do smart line wrapping positions, and you'll see what I mean by that. But the other thing that's sort of up in the air right now still is whenever you edit, it completely redoes the indentation for the entire file after each edit. Um, and that's not necessarily the best way to do that. For instance, when you're not using auto sort of virtual white space like this is right here. If I press left, I end up right there, and so there's just sort of virtual white space going on. But when you're doing it where you actually use spaces to indent stuff, what you normally do is you say, as you edit, you'll make maybe small local changes to the indentation. But then if you have something that gets like, oh, I insert a brace way up here and then another brace way down here, you then tell it to do the indentation after you insert those, because doing the indentation both before and after of the whole file is going to slow you down, especially for a big file. Right now, I just have it always do the whole indentation, and there's some advantages to that. First of all, you never have to stop and do the re-indentation, and for small files, that might be really, really nice. It also means, like, if you look at this, if I insert a brace and I didn't mean to, I will immediately see that that happened. And then I'll be able to go, oh, I see. And if I did mean for that to happen, then I know I need to correct it still, and I can put another brace in to close it. So that's a kind of neat feature. For if your file's not so big that it's a problem, it can probably be sped up the way it is too. But if 4coder is going to support big files, which is one of the goals, that it can handle the 10 megabyte file, then I think I need a mode where that doesn't happen, because redoing most of the file on just a single character insert and then doing it again less than a second later on another character insert, that's just not that great. So that's kind of up in the air. The other thing is, as I said, the line wrapping is fairly complicated. So let me show you what I mean. If I go ahead and turn line wrapping on over here, boop. Okay, so this line right here, you can see is now being wrapped, and the wrapping just happens to look smart. It's put like this whole thing on one line and this whole thing on one line. That's kind of why I chose this as an example. But the line wrapping is not always this good looking. It does have some neat features, like if I take this right here and I want to put it over here, you notice that these have different levels of indentation. So one thing that happens is if I copy and paste it, oh, and that's not line wrapped, but if I do line wrap it, then the formatting is different, because really if I don't wrap the lines, you see it's one long line, so it's free to reflow the text when there's more space because it's not as far over indented. So that raises a few issues. First of all, you can see right here that it doesn't really know to keep this whole parameter together, and whether or not you even want your wrapping to do that is, sometimes you might want it to split it up if the parameter gets really, really long. So that's some sort like heuristic wrapping rules. It's going to be kind of tricky and probably needs to be customizable. But the other thing that I've discovered that's going to be kind of, I don't know how to put it, sort of difficult about this system to make it not difficult to implement, but just difficult to even know what the right thing to do is that with this system, it's unclear what you do about deep nesting, right? So if you're programming like I do, I once in a while have nesting that goes like 10 levels deep, right? And I don't do it very often. And normally, if it starts happening and there's a good way to avoid it, I try to take that route. But sometimes the best way to write the code just involves the 10 layers of nesting, and that just comes up a lot for me. So the problem with that is, as the nesting gets deeper and deeper, right, the space for the code actually gets smaller and smaller, right? So let me come over here and insert these this way so we can see it fixing, because it's kind of cool. Okay, my point is, as this nesting gets really deep, the starting position of this line gets farther and farther to the right, and eventually you can imagine sort of running out of room to even do like to fit anything in intelligently. Like here we go, now it's starting to get to the point where it's trying to wrap because there's like a border there that it doesn't want to exceed, but that actually isn't really that good looking, because probably when you're editing this code, what you want to do is ignore stuff that is irrelevant and then have more space here. So I'm not sure what the best way to handle that is. If it's like as things get farther to the right, you give them a little bit more space, or if there's like a minimum width that you allow every. So you have like if your indentation gets deep enough, then like maybe at this level of indentation, or maybe at this somewhere in here, we start saying on one of these guys, we start saying, all right, from now on, we have a minimum width that we won't force the code in this indentation to be like more narrow than this amount. I'm just not sure what's going to work best there, right? So anyway, that's a progress update. I'll do a little bit more of this because it's fun to watch. Oh, another cool thing is you can delete blank lines like really quickly. Watch this, right? So just delete, 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 and there you go. Your code is like done. It's kind of cool. Delete, 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 delete. Alright, so thank you everyone for checking this out. I will post more updates when I have more to say. See you later. Bye-bye.